I'm the managing director and co-founder of DeepMatters. I studied computer science at Technical University of Berlin, have a software engineering background, so not unlike many other founders here in Berlin. During my studies, I explored some stuff in Internet of Things, so specifically smart scales. For the restaurant industry, it didn't work out whatsoever, miserably failed. During COVID, I co-founded an NGO that had the very ambitious goal to digitize the health authorities. We got some traction, but after 12 months, it also died, a very miserable, fiery death. So in 2020, after the NGO, I co-founded DeepMatters, which is like a boutique AI consultancy. We also do some implementation work with my best friend from university, Moritz. Why did we do it? We didn't really want to manage a business. We didn't really want to build a business. We wanted to build cool technology, do cool stuff with technology, and have fun with it. We wanted to have more control over our lives. We didn't want to have someone tell us what to do and make some money in the progress. And now we're 13 people. It was a very bumpy ride. Let me tell you a bit about it. When you grow a team, you have to become a manager. You have to set up processes. We had to very harshly learn this ourselves by, after 3 months, prematurely hiring some working students without actually having something to do for them, without having processes, without really knowing what we were doing. And we didn't have financial controlling. We didn't have a strategy. We didn't have a lot of things. So we didn't like processes. I mean, who likes to follow a process? You kind of have to do it. I still today don't really like doing it, but unfortunately, it's part of the game. So it's the TLDRs. It didn't go well. So fortunately, we somehow got away with it. Now, in retrospective, I'd say pretty much sheer luck. So kind of the transitioning went to a different stage where we're at now. And now I'm kind of the person that asks for the meetings. I hate it while being the engineer, basically spending all day in meetings. I actually counted next Thursday. I'm spending, I have 13 back-to-back meetings, which is going to be very fun. I'm not really coding anymore, which I was doing at the beginning. And I'm only once in a while actually have the time to work with technology. So actually get my hands dirty in code. I built a really cool accounting automation recently. If anybody cares about it, happy to talk about it. I think it's pretty cool, but I don't really touch client projects anymore because I'm kind of out of touch at this point. So we thought that basically interesting tech doesn't mean interested people. I think most engineers that end up going somewhat of an entrepreneurial route, we're approaching it with the build it and they will come mentality. And they didn't come. So the first learning was for me personally, if I don't tell people that we exist, nobody knows we exist. If you believe it or not, we didn't do any marketing for the first 12 months. So it was just my co-founder Moritz and I sitting in an office, working on some startup ideas that weren't validated without any input, just coding away because that was the one thing we were actually good at. And kind of hoping for the phone to ring and somebody say, hey, I want to buy. So that, to be honest, I don't know how we actually made it through the first 2 years. I don't. So we kind of were lucky in the sense that we did our job well. People stayed. There were some mouth-to-mouth referrals, and we got a chance to actually learn from that and improve and kind of survive this filter in a sense. Now we're at a point where I fortunately am able to hire some great people for sales and marketing, still try to have my thumb on it because I feel like it's a very important function. And we were very, very lucky in that sense. On the implementation side, I mean, coming fresh out of university, being like a coder, you expect when you have worked with engineering managers, you expect the client to say, yeah, we need features A, B, C, D, E, and we have this timeline, and those are the requirements, and can you please build this for us? Not the case. The client doesn't know what the client wants, and the reality was very, very messy. And it's like those systems of people. When you try to introduce technology, it's much more of a people game. That was a big learning. I mean, there's a whole bunch of fax machines still in Germany. There are some processes in those health authorities where they actually sent faxes, printed it out, scanned it to put it like online somewhere to transfer to different departments so it's printed out and all that kind of stuff. But that's a different story. So when we started, from our positioning point of view, nobody really knew what machine learning was in 2020. Like people weren't really talking about it. There were like some things with data, some things with analytics, but not machine learning. And then like ChatGPT happened. Everybody was like this hype cycle kind of started, and now everybody thinks they know AI, even if all they know is ChatGPT, and there's a whole lot more to it. And now we kind of need to differentiate this in our positioning. So that's like one of the challenges we have right now. So there's a lot of communication with non-technical people, which is where I started with the client doesn't know what the client actually wants. This translator role is something I kind of found myself in. I needed to learn to do consultancy, which I haven't done prior to that. I needed to prepare and hold workshops, which I previously have never done. And I needed to get over my fear of public speaking, which is still kind of a work in progress, to be honest with you all. To sum it up, we had very strong technical capabilities early on, and that kind of saved us to the point where we were able to learn and iterate to actually figure out this business development aspects of it. And a software business is still a business, which unfortunately technology isn't the one thing everything else revolves around. You actually need to get clients, you actually need to manage cash flows and all of that stuff. And fortunately, I'm here today to tell the tale. My last point here is you grow with the business or the business doesn't grow, which is my big learning from 2024. I did like a whole bunch of sales coachings to kind of get into this, to like feel more comfortable talking with new people, which is something I think they don't really teach you in a computer science degree. But this growth opportunity, this variability is kind of what I like about the job I have today. Thank you. One more thing, actually. If you have any questions, the doors are always open. I'm very grateful to all the great people in my network who have supported me over the past 4 years. And if there's anything where somebody feels like, hey, maybe I have an opinion that could be beneficial, happy to answer everything and help how I can.